Welcome, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We're here to do another combined show this week. We've got Kentucky stuff that we're going to talk about, and we're going to pick our Final Four.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. We're here to do a weekly episode that we have been doing of Wildcat Weekly and our game day pick'ems. And it is week 32, John. We are a few days away from the Final Four.
Yeah, season's almost over.
And John, we've got four great teams at both the men's and women's Final Four.
Yeah, it's loaded and filled with talent and should be a fun weekend.
It really should be. All right. But first, we're going to get started with our Facebook stuff, man. If you're here with us, our Facebook is nearly at 8,500 and growing. And our YouTube is growing over 760 now, I believe, on YouTube. So either one, subscribe on Facebook. It is 99 cents. And hit that subscribe. It does give you your own subscribers page and a subscribers chat that we are in. And pretty soon, I think I'm going to add like a monthly, maybe bet in MGM $10 card as a gift, as a giveaway, something like that. I'm planning on doing that. So hit that subscribe. And again, on Facebook, it's 99 cents. We appreciate you guys. Before we get started, the next thing that I want to mention is the top left of the screen there. We have a QR code. You can scan that QR code for our Wildcat Weekly show. That is going to be our home field apparel, and you can scan that. Check them out. They have a lot of cool vintage stuff at Home Field Apparel, and you can get all kinds of Kentucky gear. They got some denim gear. For March Madness. You can check them out. Use our code CSCAST or just scan that QR code at the top and it should send you to where you are using our code. So I appreciate it, guys. I'm going to leave that up as we get going here this week. John, I'm going to start with the girls. The girls played last. They're the team that played last, so we're going to start with the women here, and just start with them. They played in Fort Worth on Saturday, and a tough game, tough team, tough matchup. But then when you watch what Texas did to Michigan last night, then you start thinking, well, I guess Kentucky didn't show too bad. You know what I mean?
Nah, Texas is just on another level. You know, Coach Schaefer's got a really good group of girls. They play hard. They're physical. They play relentless defense. They're going to be a tough out next weekend.
I mean, Michigan is the 2 seed in that bracket, and they had them down 40 last night.
Yeah, it's tough to – when you get punched in the mouth in the first couple of minutes that Kentucky got punched Saturday, it's just really hard to recover from that.
I mean, Kentucky closed, they got it in the second quarter, closed it to like maybe 15, or they had it to 11 at one time early in the second, and then they pushed it out. And then in the fourth quarter, they closed it to about 15. I think about the highest was 25. Something like that, and they wind up losing like 22.
And we talked about this with Texas. They're the most physical team, I think, in college basketball on the girls' side. They beat you around. They toughen you up. It's just a tough, difficult matchup.
I mean, in this game, I'm going to be honest with you. The girls had 24 turnovers in this game. That was one of my big worries about playing Texas. I know how physical they are, how tough they are on defense, and they just turn you over. And those turnovers, they beat Kentucky 20-0 in fast break points.
I mean, you got to look at Rory Harmon. She's the the engine that builds,
like 6 or 7 steals, something like that. Yeah.
She's the engine to their engine, I guess you could say. She makes them go. And that's not the only one. You got Madison Booker, Old Acre,
Jordan Lee played so well.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's just so many girls on this team that can just make you miserable playing basketball. And, they didn't just make Kentucky miserable. They made Michigan miserable as well. And it's just – there's just so much talent on that team. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be shocked if they actually won the national championship.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Texas towards the end of the show, but I agree with you on that. What's up, Josh? Oh, what am I wearing? You really want to know? I'm wearing a shirt. Hang on. I'm wearing a shirt that says, "I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet." Oh, me. I thought it was funny. Josh must have caught a glimpse or something. Anyways, I'm just having a little fun. Josh is laughing at me now. All right, let's get back to it. I just tried to. Josh asked, so I thought I'd wear it. If somebody asked, I'd have a little fun with it. So, all right, after the game, I do want to put this up, John, and talk a little bit about this. Kenny pretty much announced that Clara is returning, and then after the press conference, it was put out that she has signed for next year.
Great news. Clara Strack's one of their main cogs. I think they're going to have to get somebody to complement Clara, though, in the portal. We talked about this. I think you moved Clara to the Tiani Key position, and you get somebody to fill in for the Clara position. And whether that's the portal, whether that's a freshman, I don't know. It's kind of hard to put a freshman in that position. I think more or less you have to go into the portal and get somebody that just, can do the things that Key did and switch the positions around.
I mean, but let's start with Clara, man. I mean, okay, she is one of 5 girls that is up for the Lisa Leslie Award for the year, which is the top center in the game, okay? 4 of the other 5 girls are all seniors. Yep. Clara is the only underclassman. So that means for the center position, she's the only one returning.
Well, and today you lost Lexi Blue to the portal earlier today, which was tough. I felt like, her minutes was not great, and I feel like she's wanting to try to find a place where she can, garner some playing time, and I understand that. So Kenny's going to have to go back into the portal and figure things out. It's, like he got Tony Morgan, he got Gilvin, some of the girls that was in that portal, he's going to have to go out and get some girls that match his level of playing style. And, that's using their bigs and hitting shots out from the outside, because Kentucky's notorious for 3-point shooting.
I mean, let me do a little bit of a send-off for the 5 seniors here. Let's get to that next, John. I mean, Tiani, Amelia, they come over with Kenny last year, played 2 years here, been major players for 2 years to turn this program around. Jordan Obi did as well. She was hurt last year, did not get to play, but she did play this year. And then you have Tony Morgan and Josie Gilvin that were apart, come in and played 1 year here. And I just want these 5 seniors, they won 25 games. They got to the Elite Eight. Amelia and Tayani won 23 games, got to the round of 32 last year, getting Kentucky back to the March Madness. Just talk about these players and these seniors just for a minute.
Yeah, they left their mark on Lexington. You know, they brought in the whole Kenny Brooks experience, you know, him having the success he did at Virginia Tech. He's been there. He knows all about it. These girls, like I said, I told you yesterday, they're really close. And the recruiting class they got coming in, they got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in next year. Kenny Brooks has got something brewing here. And if Kentucky fans can be patient, I think you're going to see a Final Four potentially in Kenny Brooks's tenure in Lexington. It's just going to take some time to kind of build the camaraderie with the teams, you know, even plugging these freshmen in next year. The McDonald girl is really, really good. I feel like she was very impressive last night shooting the 3, which let's be fair, Brad, it's just a 3-point shooting contest, but her stroke is really good to see. We need another girl like Amelia Hassett that can come in and step in and hit some shots. That's another girl I was kind of wanting to say, you know, what she's done over the last 2 years is mighty, mighty impressive. There's been some games where she could have just quit, and they fought together and they won games and you know, beat LSU this last year. Great group of girls and a great group of, you know, teammates that love each other and are just they just care about one another. Their love for each other carries a long ways.
Talking about Amelia, I want to send a special shout out to Amelia. Amelia was on the show with me last year. I've been in front of her, done interviews with her many times. And she's always been willing to talk to me and everything else. And John, she broke the Kentucky single season record for made threes. Mm-hmm. She ended the year with 99 made threes. She is now the top person ever at the University of Kentucky for made threes in a season. Just want to give a huge shout out to her. She will be missed. I definitely am going to miss her myself. Tayani Key coming over and just playing that 4 spot, being so good at rebounds and blocking shots and just playing that other wing, that other player in the middle for Clara has been really good. Tony Morgan, she broke the school record for assists in a season. Actually, John, she finished, I believe, as the second most single season assist in SEC history with like 286 assists on the season, for the second most ever for Tony Morgan. And then you got Jordan Obi and Josie Gilvin. Josie come over, probably sacrificed a lot to be here, and just want to say appreciate that. So these 5 seniors helped out a lot, and they have built something here to build off of. So I just want to give them their flowers.
You're breaking
up. I heard you. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can. I got my TV on, so I should turn that off. Maybe that'll help. All right, John, this is where I was going to talk about this class coming in. Kenny's got a hell of a class, man, a top 4 class. 3 girls, all 3 of McDonald's All-Americans. And the game was tonight. I don't know if you caught any of the game, you was right. Emily McDonald won the 3-point contest last night. What did you get to see any of the highlights for Emily?
Yeah, she's got a good stroke. She's going to be a really big piece to the shooting that they're going to have next year. You know, the Swords girl is going to be really good for them. I'm excited about Maddie Greenway. The girl can flat put it in a bucket. You know, she's a bucket getter. She's a good kid too. Very athletic. Just a sports savvy person. Her dad played for the Minnesota Vikings, Chad Greenway, which is a big plus. You know, you got that sports connection through the family. And now you got a kid playing at UK. So, the ball never stops. It just keeps going, especially when your kids get involved. So those three girls are going to be really good for us. Clara Strack returns. Even the portal, I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, the portal opens, I think, next week, which we should get an idea of what's going to happen between now and then. And you already got people already throwing their name in the hat in the portal, so we'll see what happens with there.
I mean, you're talking about Megan Greenway, John. One of the things that she does that's just amazing is her speed. She is so fast on the floor.
Yeah, she can get up and get after it. Yes, sir.
And she's a great defender. She averages like 5.5, 6 steals a game in high school. I don't know. I don't expect that in college next year, but she's a great defender and just so fast and can really fill it up. She is the third highest scorer ever in high school in the United States, 5,621 points. So
That's
just
tough.
want to give them a shout out. And Emily McDonald, who won the 3-point shooting contest last night, is the lowest of the three. She's the 4-star, ranked 23rd. That's coming in. So that ought to give you how good this class is. And John, I'll let you talk a little bit about this. I expected Lexi, unfortunately, as the season went along, played a little bit less and less. She's a sophomore. She's a former top 40 recruit a couple of years ago. And I kind of expected her to look for more playing time.
Yeah, I did. I felt like she didn't get what she thought she deserved this year, especially coming off the bench. And I felt like, that was one that could possibly hit the portal. There's probably a couple others that's probably going to hit the portal, possibly. We'll just find out here in a couple of weeks what that, looks like. But overall, I expect some turnover, especially with Kenny Brooks's girls, especially with the men. So portal season's in full swing. I hate it for Lexi Blue. I think she's a really good player. I think she could be really used in a good peak. A place like Liberty would be a nice place for her. A place, a place where she would get some starting minutes.
Well, she's from
and
Florida.
Get an opportunity to play, because I think that's what all these kids want.
She's from Florida, so
yeah, I would expect Florida maybe to get involved.
Maybe she goes back down to Florida. There's tons of D1 schools down in Florida to get involved with. So maybe that's where she winds up. I wish her nothing but the best. She's a really good shooter. She's got a great shot. And I wish her nothing but the best. And speaking of others, right here, I'm going to go ahead and say it. There's also another McDonald's All-American on this team. Kaylin Carroll is on this team. She's a freshman. She'll be a sophomore next year. I would be shocked if she's not back and part of this team and have 4 McDonald's All-Americans next year on this team. Dominika Porova, just because of injuries, she's had 2 back-to-back years of injuries. I'm not sure what she's going to do. I hope she comes back. I'm sure the medical stuff is going to matter in whether she does or she doesn't, to be honest with you. And then there's Elsa. Elsa Vadfors. I'm not sure how she pronounces her last name. She was a redshirt freshman, 6'5", got some size, but she's kind of a project. So we'll see what she does in this portal season as well. John, before we move on from the girls, I want to ask you, what do you think are a couple of the top needs for this girls team, for the women's team, for Kenny next year? And the reason why I say that is Clara Strack's going to be a senior. And you're going to have some freshmen that's coming in, so they're going to be a lot younger next year.
Right.
Where do you think their biggest needs are?
I really think they need to get after a point guard, another Tony Morgan possibly. Putting that in the hands of a freshman is probably not a good idea. Maybe get a girl out of the portal that's got some experience on the ball. Get you another big girl, kind of side by side with Strack. Somebody to help Strack out when she gets in trouble. Somebody else can step up, make some plays. Here's my thing: get some bench pieces, okay? And I know we've said that the last 2 summers, but it holds true for the men's team and the girls. Get some bench pieces.
More players than 7 or 8 players. You just got to.
You got to have some pieces that come off the bench, and you got to be able to trust those girls to come off the bench and do what you can't throw a girl in 2 or 3 minutes and somebody makes a mistake and they're back out of the game. You got to give them an opportunity to learn from their mistakes.
To grow. To grow. And you do that early. You do that early in the year, to be quite honest with you. But for me, the top need on this team coming back, another girl that I did not mention that I do expect to be back is Asia Boone. She will be a senior as well. If she does come back, I would expect her to come back. She just transferred in. She had a really good season. So I would expect her to be back. But if you have Boone and Strack, and then you've got KK, and you've got these 3 freshmen, and maybe Dominika Porova, I think a big girl, another big to go with Clara is the absolute number 1 need. And then I agree with you. You have got to have more than 7 girls that you trust on the floor at the end of the season.
You got to have bench production, and I say it all the time. You look at some of these teams in the Final Four. They got girls that are coming in off the bench, 8 or 9 girls, full deep. Texas.
Appreciate it, James. Thank you very much, man.
Texas has got a lot of depth. South Carolina's got depth. You got to have depth in the college game if you want to. It's especially when you get girls that are in foul trouble. If one's not playing great, you can jerk one out and put one in and kind of not fall off in that position. And I think Kenny has to kind of adjust to that next year, because you don't want to throw 3 McDonald's All-Americans in the game and, as freshmen, and try to throw them out on the throw them in the deep waters right out of the gate.
Well, I mean, you might early on just to see how they can grow early on, in those first 2, 3, 4 games that are probably versus not great teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The competition, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I do expect, honestly, Kenny, here's the thing. Kenny really doesn't like to play freshmen all that much. And he's going to have to change his ways next year unless he really fills up the transfer portal. But I don't really see him doing that. But the one thing that I will say is this. Last year, there was 12 players. One of them redshirted. One of them is his daughter that really doesn't play all that much. And then we had Dominika that got hurt again. So right off the bat, before the season even started, you're left with 8 or 9 players on the roster. Mm-hmm. That's all you're left with. Well, you have 15 spots. You have to fill some spots with players that you possibly could count on and have some production. So, but expectations for next year, John, this is Clara's last year. You're bringing in a top 4 class in the country. You have another McDonald's All-American. You have a girl that filled it up for 96 made 3-pointers coming back probably. You just made the Sweet 16, and you've got some good players. So, Elite 8, Final 4. I mean, honestly, I feel like those are the expectations.
Elite 8 at worst.
Yeah. I feel like those are the expectations for this program. And for these 3 girls, this class, this 2026 class, if you girls stick together, especially if you go up and keep KK and you've got 4 McDonald's All-Americans on the floor for the next 3 years, if you can add a big and maybe a power forward to them, I'm telling you right now, this is a potential top 4 or top 5 team in a few years.
Yep.
Absolutely. I believe that with everything I have. All right, John, we're going to talk about the men now, man. We're going to get to that. I want to start out with that Pope lands his first 2026 commitment. That has been the hugest deal all year long. Everybody has talked about it, that Kentucky had nobody. That's all I heard for months and months and months and months. So, John, please tell us all about Mason Williams.
Mason Williams is a really good piece. And I've said it, everybody's going to say, well, he hired Mo Williams, which is his dad, 13-year veteran, played in the pros, NBA champion, played for the Cleveland Cavaliers, played for the Minnesota Timberwolves, played for the Clippers. You get my drift. So, and everybody's going to say, well, he added him because of his dad. Okay. Let me tell you something about Mo Williams.
Let's talk about Mason Williams for a second. I want to talk about Mason Williams.
Okay.
Because the reason why is, man, we have spent months. I mean, absolutely everybody under the sun has complained about not having a commitment.
They have, and it's warranted at times. But at the same time, listen, Brad, I'm not going to say much tonight, but I feel like our fans are the root of some of the issues here.
I mean, John, Mason, all right, wait a second. Mason Williams here is a true point guard. Let's start with that. He is a true point guard who plays. He is a 4-star. He's a low 4-star, but he is a 4-star, around 100, 110 in the rankings, something like that. In this class. If he's coming in as a developmental piece, I like the pickup, man. I mean, he'll be a freshman.
He's from – I don't think he's going to be a developmental piece, Brad. I hate to say it. You bring his dad on, I think there's going to be some playing time involved. And,
developing
I think he took his official visit back in, was it March 25th? Yeah, but I thought you was meaning like a Braden Hawthorne is what I was trying to get at. Because Braden Hawthorne was a developmental piece, and he didn't play hardly at all.
Well, he didn't play at all. He redshirted. But I do like the pickup here for Mason Williams. Like, he is a true point guard. And let's face it, all season long, because Jaden Lowe got hurt, we basically played without a true point guard. This kid could come in and fill spots and be a backup as a freshman as a
You're
true
breaking
point
up,
guard.
Brad.
Well, I shut everything off. I'm not sure what else I
Brad.
can do.
Not to be rude or anything, but
I mean, I just feel like it's an important piece. I'm
but
happy.
yeah,
I'm happy that we got a commitment here. Now, I will go and turn to the hiring of his dad, Mo Williams. There's some staff changes going on. Alvin Brooks is not going to be returning. His contract was up. They're not re-signing him. But Mo Williams is a former NBA champ, an all-star, and has 6 years of head coach experience at Alabama State and Jackson State.
yeah, and the thing is Coach Williams is to me knows the point guard position, and I feel like he can some elite guys to play that position. Adding a former pro is going to help Kentucky, I think, in the coming years. There's no better way to find elite backcourt than to have a former all-star look at the positions that are being played. He can go after the portal, high school class that'll be a fit. Recruiting's the other battle of it. He should be a really good recruiter for Kentucky. He's been around. He had the Mo Williams Academy. He had Julius Randle there. I think there was other couple Kentucky guys there. I think this is going to do wonders. I think it's an upgrade. And if Williams proves to be a really good recruiter, I think he could do wonders for Coach Pope. And I get so tired, Brad, of, I hear it all the time. Who's Mo Williams? Like, do our fans watch any basketball?
Not the younger fans. They don't watch it like we used to, John.
Man, you had a conversation about this last night. Like, and you got all these comments saying, well, what did Mo Williams do? Well, hello. Mo Williams played guard on an NBA champion team, hit a big shot in the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure he played 13 years in the NBA. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that's pretty hard to do.
Well, and he played right next to LeBron. And I'm hearing all these different comments, Brad, and it just drives me insane. Like, well, what did Mo Williams do?
Ty's been in the AAU circuit around, so he knows. He says PJ Washington was there too at his academy, at Mo's academy.
I just don't understand the idea of our fans, Brad. I'm not saying all are bad, but it's like every player or coach, like today, the Kentucky's reaching out to a couple kids in the portal. Okay.
I mean, look, John, if they don't have something to complain about, they're dead, to be honest with you. I mean, like, they don't have a heartbeat if they're not complaining about something.
Well, here's my thing is when, the Cameron Hunter kid, the one from Central Arkansas, Kentucky is going to be a player for him. Well, somebody put in it, said, I don't like him. I don't want Pope to go after him. Well, you know what? That ain't your decision.
Well, it's more than that. It's more than that. I mean, everything you say, everybody sees. That kid, whoever this kid is, whoever it is, it makes no difference. He's got an agent, more than likely. Those agents talk with players who have the big kids and the top kids. And if you're a fan and you're doing that, then guess what? Those agents are being like, man, those fans, I don't know if I'd send my kid, I don't know if I want my kid going there or not.
Do you want to know the reason why we're not getting a lot of kids anymore? And everybody's going to say, well, Pope can't recruit. Pope can't do this. Well,
what's up, y'all?
Some of it has to do with the fan base, the talking down to kids, the putting down certain players that ain't top highly ranked. I'll give you an example. Mason Williams. He's 134th in the class, I think, overall.
I saw 116
It
on
might
one,
be 116. I can't remember.
something like that, I
But
believe.
look what Houston did. Houston retained some guys, got some guys that nobody's
I don't
heard
know
of.
if y'all have ever heard of Keaton Wagler, whatever his name is
Illinois, yes.
for
Was
Illinois.
not even on hardly nobody's radar, and look
He
what
was
he's
a
doing.
3-star below 150 just last year. And look at him.
I just don't understand our mind frame of thinking that just because you're a 5-star or just because you're a 3-star or 2-star,
I
that you're
mean,
not going to do great in college. Okay. I've seen really good players get in the pros that have not even been on people's boards.
look, I understand that we're not going to sit here and change everybody's mind. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on it because people are just going to be people. And sometimes you have to overlook things because, the truth is Pope runs a system that needs a certain type of player. And fans are going to have to be okay with that. He tried to go after some of the big kids last year. It really didn't work too well. He's probably going to go back to his system and what works well for him, including in that is his latest hire for director of player management is Keegan Brown, who worked for Pope for 5 years at BYU. He spent some time in the NBA for a couple of teams. And John, from what I can tell, what information that Keegan himself is putting out, he's really smart. He seems like he knows what he's doing. As far as,
and he goes after a certain type player.
Yeah. And it's a type of player that's offensively efficient, that are those 50, 40, 90 guys and things like that. Those are shooting percentages. Those are the type of guys that Pope's system begs for that we did not have this year.
Here's the thing, Brad. I've told people with Pope's system, you got to have efficiency. You got to have offense efficiency. You got to have the 51, 46, and 85, like the 85% free throw shooting. You got to have inside the 2, outside the 3. If you get the Kobe Bryants, you get the Jackson Robinsons. And to be fair, though, Brad, if Jackson Robinson, I said it yesterday, actually, if he don't get hurt, I think Kentucky goes farther than what they did last year. Because
John, you look at what we brought in the first year, okay? We brought in a guy from Fairleigh Dickinson. We brought in a guy from Drexler. We brought in San Diego State, BYU. The guys that we brought in were not the top of the board.
Brad, people think you just, and I'm going to say this, and I hope I don't get any trouble over this, but I think that's why a few of our assistants are gone.
It's possible because Pope went away from that last year and done things a little bit different, and it didn't work out.
The thing is, you can have the star guys,
Dustin,
but you got to piece a team together that has chemistry, that can get along, in a team that's not full of egos.
I'm telling you, go look for offensive, efficient guys that are close to or more than that 50, 40, 90, 50, 40, 85. And I'm telling you, Pope's system will work if you have 3, 4, 5 of those guys.
Ty, that's a good answer. He said they brought in blue collar kids with chips on their shoulders and had something to prove. See, me and Brad said that ever since we, that team.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of kids that I like. because you bring them in, there's not much expected of them. They come in, they beat Duke, they swept Tennessee, they beat the defending champs in Florida. They won some big games. They beat Duke right out of the gate with Cooper Flagg, and nobody thought we'd beat Cooper Flagg.
I mean, and here's the deal, guys. I agree with what Dustin said. I mean, Butler and Jackson Robinson were higher ones, but everybody else, I mean, you bring in guys this past year, you brought in guys from Florida, from Alabama, from, you know what I mean? Like, Pittsburgh.
There's nothing wrong with that, but they have to piece the team. They have to be pieces that glue the team together. You can't have a bunch of egos in one room. And I think that's where it boils down with Keegan Brown. I think Keegan Brown is going after the efficiency.
And the hope here is that you land. They are going after Tyron Stokes. Everybody knows that. They are going after Dink Pate. So the hope here is you land two big fish, and then you surround them with a lot of good shooters and offensive efficient players.
Well, and let's be honest, they haven't really had nobody enter the portal yet except Lowe, which probably, we haven't heard on Jasper. We haven't heard on Garrison. We've not heard on the normal ones, but we should get some clarity here in about a week. But at the same time, you got to put a team that, I've said it 100 times over in the same sentence, egos. That was the issue with the team last year. You had too many guys that had too many egos, and you put them together, and it just did not mesh the correct way.
Nope. Sometimes you can't have 6 or 8 me guys. I mean, you just can't have that sometimes. So most of the time, to be quite honest with you. John, real quick, he was right. Jalen Lowe is the only one that we have heard from. There is some rumors that maybe some deals are trying to be worked out with Collins, with Moreno. We will see.
Ty, let me mention that. Ty mentioned this. This is a good. You can't have ball dominant guards. We said that with Lowe last year, and there's nothing against Lowe. I love Lowe
and Denzel, to be honest with you.
And I love Denzel. I just think you have to have guys that can open up the flow of the offense. Look, okay, let me go back to the Iowa State game. Look at the Iowa State guards, how they opened up the flow of the offense, Brad, how they played defense. That's the kind of team I feel like Pope needs to get. Guys that can create, Taman Lipsy type, that can create and cause issues under the goal, do layups, whatever it is.
I did hear about the Jasper Johnson, Dustin. I don't know if that's true. I did hear a rumor, but if he did, it probably is a good sign. I just do not know if that's true. So,
and the thing is, Brad, I watched that Iowa State team. Now, they did get beat by Tennessee, but the way they moved offensively, the way they opened up shooters, I feel like that's where Pope has to go and get some guys that can play defense as well. And I think Miles Bird would be one that we had talked about the other day.
It would be a good, defensive person to bring back. I mean, there's some players I haven't heard much on. Cam Williams, I really haven't heard too many rumors on so far. Yelovich, I really haven't heard a whole lot on. Mo, I mean, there's been some speculation, but any real rumors, I really haven't heard much on Mo, to be honest with you.
There's nobody really sliding any in. Pope's very quiet when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
And
so I just want to say there's still things that we're going to learn, but there is some recruiting rumors going around and who they might be going after. So, John, I'm going to give you the floor on this to talk about maybe 3 or 4 or 5 guys that you hear that Kentucky has contacted.
Well, according to Jacob Polachek, he's from KSR. I want to give him the right deserved credit. They're going after Cameron Hunter, Central Arkansas, really good player. Shot the ball really well this year. I think he had 48, 47 in the finals of the ASUN championship, which is impressive. I don't care what level of basketball its own. That's pretty impressive. Very good player. Went to Wisconsin, I think a year ago before. Did not have a great season there. Didn't average many points. Looking for another D1 opportunity. He has to have a waiver. That's the other part of it. He has to have a waiver to play next year. That's a big hurdle to jump across. Then you got Dink Pate, the other one from the G League. I feel like would be a really good piece for Mark Pope. The kid's got a crazy attitude.
He's a big point guard, which I like.
He is, and he plays the game the right way. He's got a nasty attitude about him, which I like.
Like 6'6", 6'7", something like that. Like he's a big point guard.
He's got a lot of swag about him. And then the big one. Everybody's
and by the way, the rumor is that Mo Williams is out in Phoenix tonight. Right now, while we're doing this show, the McDonald's All-American game is going on. So Tyron Stokes is out there playing right now, and the rumor is that Mo is out there doing a little bit of recruiting now.
I'm not positive that's true.
I don't know. I'm just saying it's a rumor is what I'm saying.
I just heard that he's possibly going there. I don't know. But if he's not, then that's okay. But at the same time, I think Mo is going to get an opportunity to talk to Tyron. Tyron is coached by Jamal Crawford. Most don't know that. Jamal Crawford was at Rainier Beach in California, and he helped coach Tyron Stokes. Connect the dots. Jamal Crawford and Mo Williams.
He says he's watching it, and he is there. I've seen him on the screen.
Okay, then he is there.
I had it on, but I had to turn it off because I was having some Wi-Fi problems. So I did have it on. I was watching, but I turned it off. So,
well, then that's good then. So Jamal Crawford and Mo Williams are pretty good friends. And I suspect that before this is over, I suspect that Tyron Stokes will visit Kentucky again. Now, I've heard everything.
Yeah, listen.
He's going to Kansas. He's going to Kentucky.
Sometimes, John, in recruiting, late in the game, sometimes you just got to slow down and realize that you can't believe everything you hear, and you just got to be a little patient and not blow in the wind every time somebody says something.
I agree with you. He said every assistant coach agent goes to the McDonald's. I wouldn't put too much stock in it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's going to lock him up or nothing. I just wanted to say that I believe that he is out there under, like, for Kentucky right now, that he is working for Kentucky.
Here's my thing, Dustin. I've heard the longer he waits, if he was waiting this long, don't you think Kansas would already be in play?
I think it's good for Kansas. If everybody is what they've said, oh, he's Kansas this, he's going to Kansas. That's all I hear. If he's so confident that he's going to Kansas, what the hell are we waiting for? What the hell? Like, why are we playing this game if he's so damn sure?
I think he just likes this attention. I think he's a kid. Listen, Brad, put yourself in the shoes of an 18-year-old kid. Would you not do the same thing?
I mean, maybe to a point, but no, I don't think I would just keep dragging it out. I mean, like, I just like
I'm
everybody.
not saying that. I'm saying like the
Dustin,
whole.
I hear you say money is why, but right now everybody's saying, well, the possibility that Bill Self was going to retire. Well, I mean, are we all a bunch of idiots that like 10 days ago, none of us realized that he might retire? Or, I mean, all of a sudden, now after they get beat, on Friday night or whatever it was, that now he needs to like push off his commitment date, and because he's afraid that Bill Self was going to retire. Did we not know that? Has he not had conversations with Bill Self? Are they recruiting him, or what's going on?
I actually think somebody's holding him to a certain day. Is my the holding the Nike Summit thing. I feel like that's part of it.
That's part of that. Honestly, I think that is the most likely date that he announces.
I think he's going to announce at a Nike event is what he's going to do. Then to be honest, I don't know if that will happen, but he's going to announce at some point. I just think the fans need to just cool it a while, because this spreading back and forth nonsense of insider information is doing nothing.
Some of this stuff is just nonsense. Well, he's pushing this off because he doesn't know if Self is going to retire. I mean, come on, people. Did y'all really not know that 3 damn days ago? Do you think he didn't know that? His agent didn't know that? All of a sudden, this just popped up, right? Nobody else knew this.
Now, I'm going to say this, and we can kind of get off the whole Tyron Stokes thing. My thing is, if you're doing this at a Nike summit, you're not committing to it. It's not
a bode well for a Nike school, which there are two.
To be fair, you're not committing to an Adidas school at a Nike event, because Nike's going to have a little bit of
signed as a Nike athlete. I doubt it.
Now, everybody says, well, Cooper Flagg went because he was with New Balance.
Come on, this is New Balance.
This is a little bit different than Nike, where you got some multi-millionaire
deals. I mean, come on.
I mean, there's some,
Does New Balance?
I don't really want to sit on this.
Have they ever had an athlete like Cooper Flagg? They probably would have let him sign with Afghanistan. Probably.
Oh.
I mean,
that's pretty good, Brad.
I'm telling you,
Clyde. We're not going to say stuff like that on here.
John, yeah, man. We're for real. We don't do that here. I don't know. Be respectful, be good, and that's all I'm going to say. The truth is, Nike is a little bit bigger than a place like New Balance.
There's so many deals going on, Brad. Not saying under the table, over the table. There's shoe deals, there's short deals, there's everything. Nike has all kinds of different avenues that they can go through. And do you really think, this is just my opinion, Brad, do you really think that Nike's going to let just a kid go to Adidas? And to be fair, I think Adidas has to pay them a certain amount, don't they, if they do that? But Nike don't probably want to have to deal with that.
No, I don't think Adidas will want to deal with all the rules that Tyron's going to have to do, and for his commercials and whatever. All the stuff that he's going to have to do. To be honest,
but anyways. Moving on, the outlook, I think Kentucky needs another big to complement Marino. I do think they need that. I think
Sumpto Surreal is rumored to hit the portal today. Look, I know that Calipari and Arkansas will probably be right with him as well, but he is the type of monster big shot blocker that would really help his team.
He would do that, but his offensive game is not real polished. But
but if you can figure out one of these other bigs like Marino or whatever, but to come off the bench and just be a monster off the bench, I'm telling you.
And I'll say this. I think Kentucky needs 2 shooters. I think they need 2 shooters from the portal. One that I've talked to a few people around, Brett Decker from Liberty. He's a Kentucky kid from Elizabethtown. He would be a decent pickup. But I will say this about Decker. He's very small in stature. He's not a big guard, Brad. He's kind of small, but the kid can flat shoot. Now, does Pope take a flyer on him? The Jack kid, Milljack. Hilljack, is it Hilljack? From Butler. I think he would be a decent piece. I think you're going to have to go after 2 shooters. I think you're going to have to get a point guard. I don't know. I don't care where you get it from, but you're going to have the guy that can initiate the offense.
You got to get a starting point guard. You cannot go into the season with Mason Williams being your starting point guard. I'm sorry. You can't do that.
Well, and here's the thing. When you have a point guard of that caliber, you can penetrate the defense. You can disrupt the flow. See, when Aberdeen had to switch positions.
This is those 50, 40, 90 guys that I'm talking about.
When Aberdeen had to switch his positions, it was really tough on Aberdeen because he goes from a shooting guard to a point guard, and you're basically putting him in a spot that he's not necessarily used to. And we was having trouble scoring. We couldn't drive. We couldn't, everybody.
Well, he's also ball dominant. A point guard is not ball dominant.
No.
It shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing that most people don't know, and I'm going to say this. Well, that's another question for another day, Ty.
I'm just saying, look, he has to bring in a starting point guard. That's all I'm saying.
He does. But I'm going to say this. People want to jump on Ortega, but Ortega was probably the only player that really could take his man off the dribble. Maybe Aberdeen.
Aberdeen would be the other one, but that's it, really. I mean,
you got to have at least 2 or 3 that can come in, even off the bench, and be able to take your man off the dribble, because there was times, Brad, during this year where we was so stagnant on offense, we couldn't get nothing. We couldn't get no offense together because there was no flow. Like you told me all season long, John, there's no flow to the offense.
Man, I tell you what bugged me more than anything was all the clanks. God, so many games. I'd be in that chat we're in for the subscribers, and I'd be like, clank.
I'll talk about Josh Hubbard next show. I like Josh Hubbard, but the problem with Josh Hubbard is he's a volume shooter. And if you get him, it takes away from
I agree, Dustin. I'm not a big fan of bringing Josh Hubbard in. He's a 6-foot ball dominant point guard that loves to shoot. And yes, at times he has some really stellar games, but there are also times when he has a bigger guard on him that he struggles mightily. And he
puts
up 15, 18 shots.
He'll shoot you into games and he'll shoot you out of games.
Yep.
And do you take your chances and have him as to say a Brett Decker that could come in and basically be the same thing, except he would be more of a spot-up shooter and not be so much a volume shooter. Because the thing you get with Josh Hubbard, and I love Josh Hubbard. Josh Hubbard is a really genuine – he's a great person, a really great person. Won some awards in Mississippi, comes from a great family. Couldn't ask for a better –
anything. He's a good player. I'm not saying anything about him negatively. For me, I don't want a 6-foot ball dominant point guard who – is going to put up 18 to 20 shots a game, because sometimes he's going to hit 11 or 12 of those, and sometimes he's going to go 2 for 18.
Yeah.
If you look at Hubbard for 3 years, he's done it every single year.
And the whole Yelovich thing, listen, Brad can tell you I've not been on the Yelovich train all year. And it's not that I don't like him.
I'd like to have him back. I think he can improve.
I think there's just some things that he needs to improve on. He got pushed around
I
a
mean,
lot.
I'm a guy. I'm a developer. I like these kids. I was a coach. I was in the AAU in Alabama. Some myself. I'm a developer. I like developing kids. I like having 2-3 years to work with them and develop kids.
Anthony Wyman.
Wireman's always saying
Let's
something.
talk gas prices and helicopters at Kid Rock.
I don't know why. I don't like. Where does he come up with this? He comes up with something different every time.
It's wild to me.
Like, does he sit around and think, okay, man, when I get on this show, what wild thing can I say this time? Is that what he does?
He might. I don't know. But here's my thing with Yelovich, and I don't dislike the guy. Brad, I think he got pushed around too much this season. And you're going to have to be better about that if you're going to bring him back. And honestly, I think he can be developed. But does he want to come back and kind of be in a role that's – because he's probably going to be coming off the bench again. And does he want that role again? With what we got, if certain guards come here and you know what I mean?
I mean, we'll see. We're going to find out.
But anyways, I'm going to say this, the season next year.
It's important.
I don't think Kentucky can be knocked out in the round of 32 next year.
I think double-digit losses is not going to look good. I think you got to be less than double-digit losses.
I think you're going to have to at least have 9.
Like, I don't – honestly, John, for me, I don't want to hear one damn word from Mark Pope or from any player or any assistant coach about number 9. I don't want to hear one damn word about it. Not publicly. I don't want to hear the first damn word about it. Shut up, go to work, become a team, work your ass off, and show us on the court.
Yep.
That's what I want.
And I'm going to give you another kid that on the portal season that I have no clue on, and it's Trent Noah. And I'm going to say this, I love Trent, but I'll say this, and Brad can kind of back me up. This kid hits the portal, there's going to be a lot of backlash from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that's par for the course. And, I'm going to be honest with you. The Noahs are really good people. Good mom and dad, grandfathers. These are Kentucky people. It's going to be a PR hit, a little bit. And I hate to say that, but it will be. I don't know what Trent's going to do. But I'm going to tell you one thing that Trent did this year that I was really proud of him on, Brad. He showed a lot of grace. When he didn't play much, when he didn't get in the game, he showed a lot of grace. And that tells me what kind of kid that kid is.
He played against Trent in high school.
He did, yeah. And I'm going to say he showed a lot of grace this season. That's all I'll say in the circumstances that he was under. And here's what Ty Johnson said, but I hate to say this Kentucky fan don't have time for player development. They want kids that score 100 points a game, that make popcorn, shake hands, and kiss babies.
And it's all wrong. It's all wrong. Go look at your Final Four. They got kids that have been there for a couple of years, every single one of them. They got some transfers, but some of those transfers have been there for a couple of years, every single one of them. I'm telling you, you've still have to develop some kids. And Ty, you're a coach, been a coach. I know that you know that. I'm just being straight up. I know that you know.
Arizona has a unit offensively.
But Jaden Bradley transferred. He's been there 2 years.
He has. I agree.
And Jaden Bradley was a top-notch player. He stayed 2 years. Not one. It didn't happen in one damn year, which Kentucky fans think that, oh, it's a miracle. Well, everybody thinks that we're going to have a miracle.
Oh, no. Ty said, no, I'm saying the fan base.
Yeah. I know what he's saying.
He was talking he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the fan base. That's what they want.
Yeah. I know what he's saying. Michigan, they had those guys from FAU.
And Ty said, I don't want to hear anything about a Ferrari either.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, guys. I'm gonna switch it up. We're gonna talk about these Final Four games for the last 25 minutes here. So I am gonna switch things up on us.
We're doing the men or the women's first.
It does not matter, but let me get this banner up there.
Let's just do the women's first.
All right, I can do that. All 4 number 1 seeds, and John, it's the same back-to-back years, the same 4 teams that made the Final Four last year. The matchups are different, but we got number 1 UCLA versus number 1 Texas, and these 2 teams played in November, and Texas kind of ran the road with them. They had a 23-point lead at one time in the game in November, and wound up winning by like 11 or 13. UCLA did make a run. They won by like 11 or 13, and it is UCLA's only loss on the season.
My thing with Texas, Brad, is they're so physical. They're deep. You know, they've averaged, I think, 22 points. That's 4 tournament wins, all by at least by over 20. They've basically just sent a message that they're really, really good. You know, they beat Missouri State. They hung 100 on Oregon. The blowout against Kentucky. They dismantled Michigan. UCLA has kind of the same run. Their style is a little bit different. They play a lot of their play through their point guard, Rice, and then they use Betts at times.
They got that Kingpin's girl or whatever her name is. I don't know how she pronounces that name, but
for me, it's Lauren Betts, Brad. She's probably the biggest force in this game. Her paint presence is going to be huge. She's just really good on the block. She had, I think, 35 against Oklahoma State. She feels like she can take over a game at any time.
Yeah, but Texas has Oldacre that can pound down there with her. I mean, this is going to be a good matchup, man.
What really concerns me about this game is what happens in the bench play and the other players.
Well, now UCLA is deep too. They're actually a pretty deep team. They can go about 10 deep.
I think this comes down to getting a loose ball, charge, rebounds, a 3 that nobody thinks they can hit. Just something out of the ordinary. Secondary plays.
I tell you what I'm going to go with, John. I'm going to go with toughness. Like I've seen Texas play in person.
I'm with you, Brad. I think Texas is just the better team.
I'm going to go with toughness. Look, this UCLA team is good, and Close is a great coach. I'm not going to take anything away from her. She is a great coach, but I think Vic is hungry, man. Like he's hungry. He's got these girls, like they are so focused. After that Vandy loss, they have just been relentless. I think Texas is going to win a second time here in this game against UCLA on Friday night.
Texas in this game.
I'm not sure what the spreads are on these games. If anybody has seen them, I have not looked, so I've just been busy. I'm not sure what the spreads are because these are all number 1 seeds, but I would think this one is really, really close spread-wise.
The other game, it's Asia Fudd, Brad.
The other game is South Carolina and UConn. This is a rematch of the national title game last year, by the way. This was the national title game. This will be the semifinal game this year, but this is a rematch of the national title game last year. And there's some players that are on, both teams that was in that game.
Yeah, and you got Fudd, who's projected to be the number 1 pick this year. She's really good at shooting the ball. She brings a lot of leadership to this team. She's a veteran out there. If UConn, to me, if they're going to win this game and stay unbeaten, she's going to have to show up in a huge way. And I think what this game comes down to is which team can make a mistake. And the experience show, this 2 legendary coaches, you got Don Staley, Gino. I feel like whoever does the little stuff in this game, the live ball turnovers, the missing certain shots, bad closeouts, a lot of carelessness, fouls. To me, this feels like a chess match, really, Brad. And I feel like whoever stays clean with the way they play, I think will get the win in this game.
I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think the first 5 minutes in both halves is going to be super, super important in this game. Staley, in some of these big games, just like last night, TCU jumped out on them, had an 8-point lead early last night. Mm-hmm. I don't think that South Carolina can afford to do that against this UConn team.
Not against this UConn team. And, I mentioned Asia Fudd. Like, Sarah Strong is just as good. You can't. Some of these bigger games, I was there 3 weeks ago when the SEC championship in Texas just jumped out on them early, quick. And I felt like last night was kind of the same. Now, they fought back in the second quarter in that game and took a lead at halftime, an 8-point. They flipped the script from 8 down to 8 ahead. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that against UConn. They're going to have to stay in this game from the beginning. And that's why I got Gino moving on. And listen, I love Dawn Staley. I think she's a wonderful coach. She's great for the game of basketball, especially the women's game. But I just think this –
Look, I love Dawn Staley. She is so nice. She talks to everybody. She takes pictures with everybody, every fan. She stands at halftime at the other games in the SEC tournament and takes pictures with the crowd. They all line up. I mean, she's amazing. She talks to me. Her assistant coaches all know me by name. I swear, I promise they do. Her assistant coaches all know me by name. Like, they will come up to me and be like, "Hey, Brad, how are you today?" And I'm just like, wow. Like, it's just it's so wild, really. But I kid you not, they all know me by name. Her assistant coaches, every single one of them do. And I love Dawn, and I love the job that she's done, to be quite honest with you. And
that's why I think UConn wins. And I'm just gonna go ahead and give you my championship pick. I think Texas keeps it tight. I just think UConn is just the better team. I think they win back to back.
Likely. I think you're right. I just think Vic is really damn hungry, and he's got these girls playing relentless. I don't think UConn has seen a team that can play the defense that Texas. I think it's going to shock them early in this game. If
it will.
If it's Texas and UConn, I think their physicality and defense is going to shock them. Now, here's going to be the key in this game. Will the referees let Texas be as physical with UConn as they have with everybody else? Because if the referees are going to call everything, which they have not been doing against Texas, I have seen it in person myself, all right? if they are going to blow every whistle against UConn, UConn wins this game. If they let UConn play their little, I guess you want to call it bully ball, and play physical, I think Texas has a great shot of shocking UConn in the finals. So I'm going to call a different thing here than you. It's easy to say UConn's going to cut down the nets. That's pretty easy to do. I'm going to call for the upset and say Texas and Vic Schaefer finally gets his national title. He has been there twice. He's been to the Final Four about 4 times. And he does not. He's been runner-up twice. I think Vic finally gets his national title. And Rory and these girls, by the way, all 5 starters for Texas are former McDonald's All-Americans. Just so you know. So I'm going to pick the upset. All right, John. We got another UConn game to talk about. This is on the men's side. These are on Saturday night. UConn shocked the entire world the other night with a wild finish against Duke. Mullins, the freshman, hit a, 35-footer. I mean, you could hear it. It was crazy. And beat Duke, which for me kind of tickled me, just because it reminded me of another time that it was the other way around, just to be quite honest. But number 2 seed Duke versus 3 seed Illinois in this semifinal matchup. John, what do you think on this game?
I think for Illinois, it's got to be stopping Tarish Reed. He's been really good in this tournament. He can store at the rim. He's bailed out the Huskies quite a bit this year. When he's out of the game, UConn takes a massive hit. I feel like the other point is Keaton Wagler. Illinois' offense is probably one of the most efficient in the game. Their defense is playing really well. It's a really big improvement from late in the year where they had some games where they didn't play good. I think Keaton Wagler has a big play in this game. I think, UConn have a few guards that can throw at him, but they can't allow him to score 20, 22 points. If they do, I just don't see UConn win this game. And they're going to have to really score on this Illinois defense. And I think to win that and achieve that, they're going to have to use Reed. And I just don't think they can win this game unless they can attack that Illinois offense.
I mean, I'll say this. Illinois has got to play a lot better efficient offense than they did against Iowa.
Yeah, it wasn't great. And to be fair, Iowa kind of made them play that way. And, it depends on matchups. And I always say matchups win everything. And I think this is a really good matchup for UConn. You got Braylon Mullins. He's been really up and down, but hit the wild shot to send him to the Final Four.
The Indianapolis kid sent him back to Indy.
Yeah, former Kentucky prospect that we was looking at. So to me, it's all about the offense. To me, I feel like they're going to they played really good defense against Houston. Illinois did. And they played really good defense against Iowa. But UConn or Illinois
Brad Underwood or Dan Hurley? Who you got?
I think I'm going to go Illinois, Brad. This UConn team, to me, they have a lot of size, but they go cold for a while. And
I mean, I think Illinois has every chance to get to the finals here. It's been a long time since Illinois was in a Final Four. I think it was 2005. The last time they were in a Final Four. Dan Hurley, look, you got to give him his flowers, man. I mean, no matter what. I mean, 3 out of 4 years, back-to-back titles, 3 and 4 years ago. So I mean, like this is wild stuff. Shocking Duke the way they did. I mean, I never thought UConn would be here when this tournament started. They're the one team that's a surprise to me. For sure, I just thought Duke would probably be here, but we don't. We have UConn, Illinois. I think because of that, I think Illinois can get to the final game here. I, too, am going to pick the Illini. I like this team. I've said this since January on this show. John will tell you I have been talking about how much I like this Illinois team, and I'm going to stick with them here in this game as well. And then, John, we got the monster matchup here. Yeah, number 1 Arizona, number 1 Michigan. I think personally this is the 2 best teams in the country. Again, I've been saying this since January. I think this is the 2 best teams in the country. And God, man, this game is going to be wild, I think. I think it's going to be tons of offense, fast-paced, high-scoring. Like, this is going to be a good one.
Did you know that they had 60 points in the paint against Arkansas?
Yeah.
And they had 30 of those was from the free throw line. You know, here's the thing about Arizona that most people don't understand is they get behind, but that's just where they wear you down.
Yep.
And they play with a lot of urgency. They impose their will in the second half. I think they had 40 points in the paint, maybe 41 against Purdue. It's just not Koa Pete and Crevis. It's Toby Awaka, Braden Burries, Jaden Bradley. They're just really, really good. This is going to be a strength-on-strength type thing. You got Arizona, who's really good at dominating the glass. They're, I think, 5th nationally in points per game.
I mean, they only average shooting like 8 or 9 threes a game. Nobody plays that way anymore, to be honest with you.
And then you got Michigan that is really good in two-point defense. They're really good at blocking shots. They limit their fouls. The Wolverines can shift gears and go to another level that there ain't many teams. I watched them play against Tennessee, Brad.
John, this game literally could be like 116 to 110.
It's going to be the game of the year, in my opinion.
I mean, honestly, it could be.
Michigan's big. They got stars. I love Yaxel. They play really good defense. I think that is why Michigan is going to win this game. They're going to have to make Arizona take some tough shots. And they're going to have to stop the paint because Arizona, to me, is really difficult to really defend because they get downhill. They do some really good things. They attack in the lane.
I mean, I doubt Arizona's going to leave Yaxel wide open from 3. I don't know if you caught the part in the last game where they just kind of backed off Yaxel, and he's like, well, hell. He just kind of like, if you're going to leave me alone, and he just nails a 3 and kind of looks at the guy.
I'm going to say this.
He kind of looks at the guy like, what the hell? Why'd you do that? Why are you backing off me?
I actually think Yaxel's going to have to score at least 30 for them to win this game.
Yeah, I mean.
I just do because, there's times where Elliot Cadeau can go cold. There's times where Burnett can go sleepy at times, but they haven't been lately. They've took care of business, but this is a different animal they're going up against. And I'm going to tell you something, Brad. This is going to be must-see TV.
It is. I keep waiting.
This is going to be up and down, going after, strength on strength. It's going to be one hellacious basketball game.
Yeah, man. Look.
These are the 2 best teams, I think.
Game. I don't really think it's going to be 116-110, but could this be a 98-94 game or something like that? I think it very well could be, to be honest.
I'm going to say this. Arizona won the title in 97 in Indianapolis.
You know that they are the last team west of Texas to win the national title was the 97 Arizona team?
But you know who they beat in that championship game?
No. I know exactly where I was. I can tell you what I was doing. Yeah, I remember. I prefer not to talk about it.
But here's my prediction. I got Illinois going to the championship.
You're gonna be bringing up bad memories and shit.
And I got Arizona winning it all. Where they was at in 97, they'll finally get it done in 26.
Old Lute Olson would be smiling somewhere.
Simon Says championship.
All right. I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think I hate to be the same with you here. I kind of thought maybe you might go Michigan, but I've been an Arizona guy all for most of this year. I really like Michigan too, but this Arizona team wears you down.
Very much.
And Tommy Lloyd has just done an amazing job here.
The thing about Arizona is they just literally come at you in waves. You know, they come at you with their starters. They come at with you off the bench. They just wear you down. You know, Purdue was up 7. I think it was, at halftime? And all of a sudden, Purdue was down 11 points really quick.
I mean, within like 4 or 5 minutes of the game. I mean, in the second half.
At you in so many different angles. Now, I'm not so sure they can do that to this Michigan. This Michigan team's on a different level. I think this will be tighter. This will be within 2 or 3 points. This is going to be a
great game. Yeah, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, it's going to come down to who can make plays. I said it. What Michigan's going to have to do is they're going to have to figure how to keep Arizona out of the paint.
I mean,
if they can figure out how to get the paint.
I think the winner of this game, I'm picking Arizona, and I'm with you. I'm picking the Wildcats, Arizona Wildcats, to win the national title here. But I also do think the winner of this game probably wins the title.
Yeah, whoever wins this is the championship, to be honest.
I think Michigan or Arizona probably beats UConn or Illinois.
Either one. I hope Michigan don't pull another Weber if they get there. So,
well, just make sure you know how many timeouts you have. Is all I got to say.
Exactly, that's what I said. So.
All right, now I do have one more thing that I want to mention right here. While we're talking about all this, and we've got UConn, Illinois, and we've got Arizona and Michigan. North Carolina has been awfully quiet about their coaching search since they let Hubert Davis go. Mm-hmm. We really haven't heard much, and there's not been a lot of movement. They're kind of keeping things quiet. John, do you think there's a chance that one of these coaches that are still playing and still vying for a championship here might be the person they're waiting on to call and talk to?
I mean, they've not really given an explanation. I think earlier today I read something on an insider board where North Carolina was kind of waiting until after the Final Four. To me, does that not give you a little idea that maybe they want to ask a couple of these, like Dusty May, Tommy Lloyd? I'm going to tell you something, and I've said it. If Tommy Lloyd somehow goes to North Carolina might flip overnight.
I'm going to tell you right now, I actually believe that it might be Tommy Lloyd that they're waiting on here. But however, I will say this, and nobody's talked about him, but Brad Underwood would be a hell of a hire too, to be
He
honest with
would.
you.
He's a great coach. From his
He's a great
stint
coach.
at
He's
Stephen F.
back-to-back
Austin.
years with Illinois at Elite Eight, now Final Four. I mean, like, for real, he's done a fantastic job.
Did you hear his interview? Did you hear his interview last week about the fact how he got to be in at his dream job, Illinois, and how he got to be there?
Yeah.
It was amazing to listen to. The job he's done coming from Stephen F. Austin to now and getting to the Final Four, like, come on now.
I'm telling you, man, Brad Underwood would be a hell of a hire. Now, hiring him away from Illinois would be a big deal, but UNC, North Carolina, has a tremendous, tremendous history.
Yeah, tradition. Yeah.
Tradition. I mean, I'm just saying, could that be a possibility? I really think the guy they're waiting on is Tommy Lloyd.
Yeah, I've said it. I think they're waiting to see what he says. And the worst he can say, Brad, is he could say no. And, they could just move on to somebody else because I really don't think
Donovan. That's the only name that I've really heard is Donovan. But I think Tommy Lloyd would be a better deal.
I don't think Dusty May after what?
Billy Donovan has not coached in college in 12 years. Do you know he has coached 11 years in the NBA and only one time out of 11 years has Billy Donovan won 50 games in the NBA.
Here's my thing with the whole Dusty May. You have Dusty May that's been, at Michigan 2 years.
5 of the last 6 years, Billy Donovan's had a losing season in the NBA.
I just don't think Dusty May's going to run off after these last couple of years in Michigan.
I don't either. I'm
going to say this about the whole Donovan angle. How does he navigate NIL when he's been out of the game?
He has no idea.
That's another. There's another aspect of this.
I mean, honestly, in the NBA, the last 6-8 years, I'm just going to be honest with you. Billy Donovan's been washed in the NBA.
Now, he was a good college coach at Florida.
Can he find his way back in college? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he can't. He's a 2-time national championship back-to-back. I mean, that was a long time ago, 18, 20 years ago.
Yeah, but the landscape of college basketball has changed.
Oh, it's changed tremendously. It's not even close to being the same. None of it is, to be honest with you. You might be right, Wireman, but I'm not. Honestly, I would like any of the three that's in the Final Four better than I would Billy Donovan.
Tommy Lloyd is slam dunk. If you can get him on, it changes everything.
I'd take any of the three over Billy Donovan in any walk of life right now, to be honest with you. And that's for any job. If it was me and I'm making the choice, there's no question. Just to be honest. I mean, none at all. All right. I am going to wrap things up here for the show, guys. A couple of things real quick. Kentucky news. Kentucky volleyball is going to play at Wrigley Field on September the 6th. They're going to fill it up. There's Nebraska, Penn State, Kentucky, and maybe Wisconsin. I forgot who the other one is. Big name schools that's going to play at Wrigley Field outdoors September the 6th. That's going to be a big thing. The baseball has played tonight. Hopefully they won. Have not paid attention, but they played Miami of Ohio tonight, and they have a big weekend series at home, Missouri. They need a win here. They need a sweep, to be honest with you, of this Missouri team. They have 4 home games this week. They need that to kind of bounce back off of 2 series losses on the road the last 2 weekends. So just want to point that out for the baseball team. And then on the football, a lot of things are starting to come out. We're starting to hear some good things about Kenny Minchie, about some of these wide receivers, Shane Carr, Brock Kaufman, DJ Miller. We're hearing some good things about some of the defensive players. We heard from Anwar Stewart the other day. We heard from Joe Price. We heard about the offensive linemen. Will's doing a good job each time introducing a new coach with players after practices. And I really like what I'm starting to see from the Kentucky football spring practices here. The game is the 18th. If you have not got your ticket, I haven't heard if they sold out, but you better get them because about 1/3 of the stadium is being worked on at Kroger Field. They're only going to be about 2/3 available at Kroger Field on April the 18th for the spring game. And get your tickets, man. It's going to be fun to be out there and see who is going to help lead this team in the fall for Will Stein. So it's going to be real fun to do that.
I'm excited. I saw some videos today. Some of the energy, the level of enthusiasm. It's, the thing that really stood out to me was when they asked the difference to Anwar Stewart about the difference between Stoops practices and Stein's, and he says just full go, fast pace, nonstop.
Oh yeah,
and
everybody's saying that.
It's a different time now. You got a new coach in here. Thank you, Stoops, for the moments that you gave us here. But a lot of people just need to move on. It's a new era. Stein's here. There's a lot of excitement. Time to get behind this group of coaches and players and see what happens. And, here's the thing. I watched a video yesterday, or it might have been this morning. Colton Price is going to be that kid can play.
He was really impressive when the offensive line went, Cutter Leftwich, and we got to hear from Lance Hurd and Colton Price.
The one-on-ones, getting to watch the one-on-ones.
They did some one-on-ones on Saturday. It's really, it gets you fired up, man, to be honest with you.
Makes you want to go right through a wall, man.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's pretty fun. I can't wait to cover it and to be there for the spring game. It's going to be fun for us as well. So, but man, get out to Kroger Field if you can, if the tickets are still available. I did get some for myself. Even though we're going to be there, I'm going to bring some family, hopefully, and just have a good day in Lexington with some Kentucky football. It's going to be fun. So did want to end with that. All right, guys, we've been on for quite a while. We're going to wrap this up. It is Final Four week. So, John, I'm going to leave you with this. Football, we've been doing a live cast, live stream for the championship games. Mm-hmm. There are two of them that we cover. Well, there's a championship game for the women's on Sunday night and a championship game for the men's on Monday night. I kind of would like to do a live stream for both championship games. I think it would be fun.
We can talk about it this week.
Yeah, so I'm just leaving y'all with that. Maybe we'll do a live stream for both. Maybe we'll do one for just one. I would like to do both, to be quite honest with you. I think there's going to be a lot to talk about. The transfer portal will be open the next day for each one, and there's just going to be a lot to talk about, I think, during the game. So it would
this is Brad's favorite time of the year.
and maybe if Ty's still on with us, maybe I can get Ty to come on with us. For the men's,
Brad likes all the insider information.
Yeah, maybe I can get Ty to come on with us for the men's and do a live stream during the.
I'm aggravated because you said you hate portal season because you said you dislike all the rumors that go around.
I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I can take it in doses. I just don't like the way everybody blows with the wind. Everything, like they're all over the place. One day this and this, and it's like watching a damn tennis match. You have to go like this all the time.
Well, and that's what me and Ty was talking about yesterday. Everybody has a source.
Like just stay in the middle, stay in your lane. You don't have to hear and listen to all that mess. Believe what you want. You don't have to jump at something just because somebody said Tyron ate a steak and baked potato last night. I mean, Jesus Christ, people.
I got tickled at when you posted. You said Tyron's uncle was down at the Krispy Kreme. Oh goodness!
And I found out what he had for supper last night.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to know information.
Jesus Christ, people.
It gets too overblown at times. You know, I understand there's insiders out there that I trust, and there's people in the game that I really love, Brad, that do really good work inside.
There's also some outsiders out there as well.
They are, unfortunately. and that really gives all the ones that have a good source a bad name.
Yeah. I mean, just stay in your lane, man. Be confident, have your own opinion, your own thoughts, stay in your lane.
Eat a potato.
All right. Y'all have a good one. We will see you maybe Sunday night for national championship game for the women's. That would be great. Or Monday night. So we'll see you guys. Y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy some basketball and national championship winners next week. We'll talk them up.
Eat a potato.